what's up? I had an interesting thought. Actually, it came up. It's been coming up a couple times. I guess you can call it more along the dark side of being a nice guy. But it's not really dark. It's just more or less unknown, or at least unthought of. And part of the reason why I want to do this video is because there are a lot of people that assume that because you're a nice guy, you don't have options. Now, in some cases that could be true, but I don't necessarily believe that you have no options. You just may not have options that you really like. And having no options is not the same as having no options is not the same as having minimal options. And again, what I've heard is people just say, hey, because you're a nice guy, you don't have any options, and that's why you'll choose a single mother or choose certain types of women that other men might consider low value. So it could be a stripper or a former prostitute or a promiscuous woman, and again, like a single mother. But I don't think that is the case. And the problem is I think that a lot of times as a nice guy, you don't really have the confidence to go out there and just speak to any woman or any type of woman. And in a lot of cases, you just kind of latch on to the first woman that gives you attention, or that's willing to at least tolerate your presence. And I do mean tolerate your presence. But usually when a woman is tolerating your presence, it's because there's another benefit that you provide to her, such as you listen, you're mechanically inclined, so basically you can fix stuff, or fix a car, fix a house, different things that you can do that a man would normally do for his woman. But she's getting that benefit out of you because of a friendship, so to speak. You're in the friend zone. But back to the topic, is that I think as nice guys, a lot of times, we don't necessarily think that we have options. And the reason why we don't necessarily have options is because we stick to places that we know. Alright? But I found that a lot of times we have a lot more options than we think we do. But you also got to consider there are certain women, and a lot of women are very, I want to say shy, or they're non-aggressive. So even if they like you, they won't tell you or show you that they like you. Alright? And it's really on them for not really doing something to show interest in you. You know? But at the same time, there's interest out there, and it may just take you exploring that interest with somebody who's willing to tolerate you. But I won't say they're willing to tolerate you. You have some women that are willing to tolerate you for a benefit from you, but you have other women that tolerate you because they actually like you. You know, they're not looking to abuse you. They're looking for a relationship. They just don't have the gall or the confidence to come, or even sometimes the bravery to come just straight out and ask you that. And a lot of times you'll find out there are certain women or girls that like you. You'll never know it until years later because they just stay quiet about it. probably have more options than you really realize, but you got to overcome your shyness to actually pursue those type of women, or at least to inquire. You know, whether it be a question, it's like, hey, you ever thought about me and you getting together? And sometimes it might just be like, hey, you're pretty cool. You mind if I take you out for lunch sometime? You know, nothing really serious, but you can just kind of fill out the water. And to me, I think natural conversation, if you have to play games to get with a woman, to me, that woman is not really for you. All right? And this is talking about just being a straight up man. All right? Now, you got all these players out there, and they're playing games to get women to drop their guard in order to get get into bed with them. But as a good man or a nice guy, I mean, of course you really want to be intimate with a woman, but you actually want to have a relationship with a woman as well. The player just wants to have intimacy with a woman, but the good man actually wants to have a relationship that will hopefully become intimate, you know what I'm saying, in a long-term relationship, or ideally marriage. So I want to invite you to actually explore your options with women that are willing, they're around you. And of course you got to be careful with it. And in some cases, if you're around a certain type of woman and she realizes that you like her, it could mess up the friendship. So you kind of gotta be careful with it, and then sometimes you may have to actually just kind of observe the woman, and observe is basically looking for her to do things that might be choosing signals for you. And I'm sure you got a whole bunch of guys. We have other videos about choosing signals that could probably give you a little more in-depth explanation. But I would say if she's complimenting you on certain things, or she has a mindset to kind of protect you, then she might be somebody that's interested in some cases, but not all cases. You have some women who are just kind of like, to me, they're just, I guess they're arrogant. They see themselves above you, and so they'll actually treat you like a little bitty brother, which in a way is really a form of disrespect. Let's be honest with you. So in that regard, if there's a benefit to the relationship, like she tries to help you get with females or something like that, then she might be somebody you can keep in your friend zone, because of that benefit. But if you're in a relationship with a female that's supposedly your friend, but really you're just doing stuff for her, and she don't try to balance it out, she's not somebody you need to be around anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well drop her. And that being said, if she's the type of woman that is actually always asking you to do stuff for her, favors, ask for money, she's getting benefits from you but not providing anything in return, she's not a good woman for you either. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well just drop her too. Save that money that you're spending on her, that time you're spending on her, and put it on yourself. And she is not good. But yeah, take a look at the women that are around you that are giving you, choosing signals on some form of fashion. But at the same time, a lot of times when you're in a friend zone, that woman is taking up a lot of your time. All right, she's actually stealing time from you that you could be using to do other things or meet other women. All right, if anything, use her, or play with her a little bit. And how you do that is by going to find other females. When you go find other females that are potentially interested in you, you're gonna be messing with her. Of course, any woman that puts you in the friend zone just to get things from you, to me, first and foremost, she's already disqualified. I don't care how much I don't care if she changes. I don't care if she apologizes and said, "Oh, I didn't realize how good man you were," all this other junk. You keep her in the friend zone. Keep her there. Don't even ever give her a chance ever again. Consider her your sister from now on. All right? And then on top of that, don't be there when she needs you. I mean, you can in some cases, but ask for something. Hey, if I'm gonna do this for you, I need you to buy me lunch. Cool, you gonna do that? If you don't do that, I'm out. Make her balance the friendship, because that's all she needs to be. Actually, she ain't really qualified for that, but make her pay for it, and then ask her, hey, what can I do to be more? Ask her to help you be better. Use her womanly knowledge, to a degree, because you have a lot of women out there, and the problem with them is they really want a certain type of man, but they don't realize the man that they want ain't good for them, which is the reason why they keep having messed up relationships. But they won't learn, and you ain't got time to teach them. So, but back to the thing is, you want to decrease. Actually, no, you need to minimize your time with this woman that's got you in the friend zone, and use that time to go find out what you like. Go get your interests. So if you try different things, try dancing or ballroom dance, learn how to ballroom dance or something weird. It's not weird, but it's kind of cool, because I think some women really like that. And so if you know how to ballroom dance or how to do a waltz or something like that, something popular, like a bachata or a merengue or something, like some of the Spanish dances, that could be something, a date night idea. So you can take somebody there, or you can do it as something that you've never done before, and take a woman on a date doing that. So again, cut off the time with the woman that's got you in the friend zone, and start doing things that you like. And the things that you like, even if you start doing the dances, look at who's there. All right, and that includes the women that are there that are your age. But in some cases, you still have to be careful. You might find older women that have daughters that are really nice, and so it could be a way of you networking, so to speak. And if you can gain favor through a woman's mom, of course she's got to be a good mom, then it actually might give you another, give you some clout, or some reputational clout. It's not necessarily really, really public, but it could be a community-wise clout, which is pretty cool too. Because if you can show yourself as a good man to a community, the men and women of that community might be more willing to let you date their daughters in that community, so to speak. So basically, it's kind of like a form of network. But go out, if you go to the shooting range, if you like that, actually going out and doing some type of martial art. I think you should go out and do some type of martial art or get involved in boxing or something like that, just as a man, you know, just so you can protect yourself and potentially the woman you want to be with, but also to give you that confidence of actually being able to fight or defend yourself, or at least you know, dissuade somebody else from trying to fight you, and to give yourself that confidence. Because a lot of times the biggest thing with fighting is you don't really want to nobody wants to get hit, punched in the face, beaten down, embarrassed. But if you're at least ready for it, you got some type of training for it, it decreases that the anxiety, all right? Because if you've never been in a fight, you're going to have a whole lot more anxiety than somebody who's actually been kind of trained to fight. You know, you've been sparring with different people, so you kind of, in a way, you know more of what to expect with somebody who's never been in a fight before. So you want to me, that I would make that something, I would suggest that you make that a priority on your list. Now, in some cases, you might be able to meet females in that regard. However, and most likely, probably not. This is more for you to build up yourself, your confidence, you know, especially when dealing with other men, especially with men who think they're alpha. You have a lot of men who think they're alpha, and they're not as alpha as they think they are. To me, you have some men that are alpha, that are basically, they're no different from a woman who thinks she's the boss baby. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? They talk a lot of game, they talk big, but if you put that fist in their face, that elbow on them, they gonna collapse like anybody else. And then there's a false reality, or I think there's a false idea of what an alpha is, you know. And what women think is alpha is really just a man that they find really attractive. There's a certain type of man that they find really attractive, that's sexy, has a certain mindset, but that don't necessarily mean he's alpha, you know. And then on top of that, you got guys who run around with a gun, they think they're alpha, and they're just big punks. They just have a gun, and the only thing they're standing on is the gun. That's all their confidence. Their confidence and their willingness to shoot somebody, which is really weakness. You know, as a man, you got to be able to, you know, talk to another man, you know, calm, you know, figure out your differences. You know, if you fight, you fight, but you got to be able to come back from that. But you also have this issue with, you have some guys, now you being a nice guy, good guy, you have something to lose, all right? But you have guys who don't have anything to lose. And those guys are the problem. They can afford to be aggressive because they have nothing to lose. Now, you as a good guy, as a nice guy, you can't afford to just be aggressive. Because if you're aggressive, you stand to lose your job, you're standing in the community, you stand to lose a lot more than a man that doesn't have anything to lose. And so that's mainly the reason why you can't even really fight them. You got to make sure that you're all the way on the right side to even be able to deal with people like that. Because if you are considered an aggressor, then you can go to jail. However, if you are the guy who's actually defending himself, now you have earned the right to beat that dude down if you got to. Okay? But you got to put yourself in a position that you got to be in, I won't say put yourself, you got to be in a position where you didn't have any choice but to defend yourself. All right? And women don't understand that. They don't understand the difference between a man who has to defend himself. They don't understand the difference between a man who has nothing to lose compared to a man who does have something to lose. Those two type of men are in two totally different leagues. All right, and they really can't be compared. But the woman will see the man who doesn't have anything to lose and consider him more masculine than the man who has something to lose, which is immaturity on their part, for one. They don't really understand that. It's kind of like you'll have some women, not all women, and they will actually just quit their job. Just quit their job. They're like, you know what? I don't want to work it anymore. And they will leave that job, and they don't necessarily care if they got to find another job. Now, as men, we normally hold on to our jobs. We make sure we maintain our job. And if we're going to quit our job, we're going to make sure that we have another job lined up to go into it. In the same token, you'll have some women that will go up to a man's job if they have an issue with him. They'll go to his job, put his employment in jeopardy, just so she can voice her opinion to that man. That is a woman you don't ever want to be with. All right? That woman is kind of like the woman who is willing to go and just quit a job and just assume she's automatically going to get another job. Now, in some cases you can, but it's smarter to wait till you have a job to go to before you actually quit the job that you're already in. Yeah, that was a big long tangent. But I guess you could say you can put that as part of it, because there are certain types of women that you really don't want to be messing with. They're just not good. If they're trying to abuse you, control you, and abuse, I mean they're just trying to get whatever they can get out of you without putting anything back into you. Alright? Those type of women are just not good for you. And you got to be able to notice those type of women, as opposed to the women who are actually trying to. Some women, the best women, are going to try to invest in you even before you try to invest in them. Alright? And sometimes they just don't really have the confidence to come up to you as a man. And so those type of women you got to be on the lookout for. But just yourself as a man, just be more willing to look out there and not let yourself be held down by a woman, a particular woman, until she's proven herself to be a good woman, as well as a woman that has interest in you. So I guess that's good enough for this. And if you guys got any questions, I hope you guys understand the point that you have more options than you realize. The thing is you got to be able to open your mind, learn a little bit more about choosing signals, listen to women, pay attention to women, see if they're actually invested in you, check them out if they're invested in you, see if they're taking more from you than they're giving to you, to see if she needs to be disqualified. And then the women who are just who actually are willing to put you in the friend zone and leave you there for years, You need to flip the script on them. Spend way less time with them, very little time with them. Make sure they pay you back in some way, form, or fashion for any services that you do for them, or just drop them all together. But this has been, and what happens when nice guys retaliate. So I hope you guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you later.